So we are, namaste. So we are into a session, hammer the delusion. Lust, jealousy, hatred, duality, sense of anxiety or sense of pleasure due to the outer situation, condition, relationship, all have to do with the delusion that we need to understand. That we need to clearly understand, and once we understand, then it is very easy for us to get out of the delusion. Oh, but once I do it, no. I have to live into that state until we reach to an irreversible state. Delusion, it means the wrong capacity to derive false pleasure, pain from a situation, from people, from relations. I'm in pain because I did not sleep last night. I lost money. That guy made me crazy. That guy was so friendly but cheated me because I gave an opportunity to be cheated. I cannot sleep with the light on. So there are millions of deluded so-called situation, relationships and conditions outside. That is what we see in optic illusion. In optic we have delusion, which we say optic illusion, cognitive biases we have. We filter information through biases and assumptions. Your ideas are different than me. So we have created cognitive biases. Now every time I meet that person, I have always a differences. So I start with the difference. So these are known as the confirmation biases, causes us to see only what aligns with our belief, not what aligns with what is real. And that also creates, no, I'm very sensitive. Really, you're very sensitive. We are not in the state of mindfulness, that is why you are very sensitive. Same thing happens in dreams, hallucinations, all comes under the category of delusion. We have societal delusions. Societal delusion results into racism, nationalism, and lot of other prejudices. So we have to keep our mind aware and alert in the state of mindfulness, not to get carried away by these delusions. The moment you get caught by these delusions, the problem will always be there. So we have to start with, I am responsible for all my sorrow and happiness. Let us start with that statement. Keep in mind that I am responsible for all my sorrow and happiness. At least our sorrow will reduce, our ego will reduce in case of happiness. Our sorrow will reduce, and also our ego will reduce in case of happiness. Ego will drop down when I feel that I am responsible for my sorrow and happiness. Why? Just think of it. Why? Why? Situation outside, reaction inside. Are you aware? Situation outside, people outside, relationship outside, reaction inside. So in absence of delusion, that reaction will drop. That reaction will drop or reduce. Why? Situation, relations are not the cause of the sorrow or happiness. We should be very clear about it. Normally, people say they are untouchable, means very sensitive. Situation outside, people outside, the world outside is not responsible for my sorrow and happiness. Can I keep that awareness all the time inside me? So then I am ready to respond. It results into one of the very subtle principles in Eastern wisdom. What it says, I see the world as I am. I don't see the world according to the situation, relations, people are. Are you getting it? I believe so. I see the world as I am. And what I am? I am peace and happiness. I don't see the world as the situation, relations, and people unfolds. And that will open up. That will instantly make you aware of the delusion, and you can get easily out of the delusion. You need not to do anything practically in removing the delusion. We have to simply understand it. We have to simply become aware of it. We need not too much to do. And that is why I said Bhaj Govindam is nothing but recall, remember, relive, realize. Recall. You need not to do anything. Remember. You need not to do anything. Realize. I just become aware. And realize. Delusion is gone. You're happy. That guy is crazy. That is a reaction inside me. The person is outside. So I get rid of that reaction by remembering what I am. Mind, you cannot change according to the situation, relations, and people outside. You have to start with what I am. But because we get carried away by so many delusions, that is why practice is also necessary. Regular practice, regular understanding, consistency in our journey to remove the delusion is essential. That is what the Master says. Some people say that, we have ideological differences. Where it is burning, where it is happening? Inside. But why it is happening? Because of preferences. What is that preferences? Because of likes and dislikes. So I slipped from what I am to what I should be, because I have ideological differences from you. Hence, I have slipped into lack of awareness, and that is another level of delusion. Most of the problems of duality and a conflict takes place because of this. Again, I am stressing what I am is one thing. What I should be. What I should be? How should I behave with you depends on you. Then I am in delusion. How should I behave and respond to you as I am? Life changes. Instantly changes. I have nothing to for the like and dislikes. I have nothing to react. No, you are what you are. I'm free. So I don't put myself into the delusion. That is what is hammering the delusion. So hammer word, appears very strong. But hammering is recognize, remember, realize, become aware of who I am, and then respond Otherwise, Master says, we are foolish, irrational decision. Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Govindam, Govindam, Bhaj Mudhamate. So he is addressing to the mind, Mudhamate. O mind, don't be foolish. Don't be foolish. That is what we have done in the first. In the second verse, Mur Jahihi Dhanagat Dhanagam Trishnam Kurusad Buddhim Manasi with Trishnam Yallabhase. The entire, what it says, the second verse says that check and become aware of the strong likes and dislikes, attachment and detachment, craving. They convert itself into a delusion and we break our relationship. We cause so much of problems in our life because we start searching peace and happiness, love and wisdom outside, in people, in wealth. So the Master is saying that instantly I have to become aware. It is, my happiness is not situational, not conditional, not people oriented, not relationship oriented. So there one idea came up during the discussion that we should have a support system. Bhaj Govindam is a support system there. Oh, let me take a support of Bhaj Govindam. Peace is within me. Or you can just imagine. You can just imagine, oh, this beer guy told me this. So you take the support mentally, emotionally. That is what the relationship between a guru and the seeker is. So instantly you will recognize, your mind will start contemplating and reflecting, and the delusion will drop down. Delusion will drop down. The third verse that we have done, it says the lust. Why the lust comes? Because I feel you are different than me. First see that. You can put it into the ideological difference. You are different than me. Then you are beautiful. You see the thought process. We all are same. We all are human beings. Now see where the lust goes. So here the Master says in the third verse to reflect on the impermanent and ever-changing nature of the body, to overcome attachment and dispel ignorance. One, two, 3, 4. Yeah, equal number of men and women are here. I'm not counting myself. So one Master used to narrate his story that you see a woman from the back is moving ahead of you. Oh, she is very seductive. But when you see in front, you see that she is 80-year-old woman. The lust is gone. So where the lust was? Lust was in my mind. Did you understand it? You see the women from behind, the figure, etc., everything is the same. You are 50 years old, but you find the woman is 80 years old. Or just the opposite. So we create a picture, and that creating a picture takes me away from it. So perhaps the Master in those days might have seen those problems prevalent in the society. So that is why they have put, I have to analyze this, what is this lust? And on the other side, body is composed of the same flesh, bone, carbohydrate, etc. Not something to lust after. Contemplation, reflection is required. So that is why again contemplation is nothing but Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Govindam. You look at any physical form, man, women, animals, watch, anything. Every object consists of some matter. Matter is inert. Inert cannot know itself and cannot know others. Mouse cannot know itself and cannot know others. Your computer, from which you are watching, it does not know itself and it cannot know others. Now I impose my ideas of lust, of craving there. That is the greatest delusion. We need to work on it all the time. It comes gradual by regular practice. It will never happen once, instantly. We need to contemplate. We need to contemplate on that. Whether it has to do with lust or craving or obsession for any object or a person. And if we don't get it, we feel we are very sensitive. Just think of it. So the moment you start contemplation and reflection, your anxiety drops down. Your wrong notions, they dissolve. And you find yourself in peace and calmness instantly. If you don't find it, contemplate it again. Reflect it again. It loosens your attachment and craving by understanding. For example, the body is impermanent. Body keeps on changing. So we have another verse today. That is so beautiful verse. I will try to explain it. Nalani dalagat jalam taralam. Let me just speak English. What it says, the water on the lotus leaf is very unsteady. Because the lotus leaves are untouched by the water. If you put the water or water drops, they simply flee. They simply drop. The water on the lotus leaf is very unsteady, so also is the life extremely unstable. I meet you as a stranger within few minutes and we like each other. Oh, I like you, nice to meet you. That is one possibility. Other possibility is that we keep on reacting inside. Okay, I will meet you later. And we don't want to remember. Life is extremely unstable. No, the entire world is devoured by the disease of the delusion that results into the sorrow. Again, the same thing. I should not be carried away by the situation, people, relationship, with reference to the water on the lotus leaf is very unsteady. So life is totally unstable. Life is totally unstable. We don't know when this life will go away. Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Govindam. The water on the lotus leaf is described as extremely unsteady and unstable. It's a metaphor that how fleeting and transient human life is, and how fleeting and transient is our relationship. You can add in anything. We love someone and we keep on, and after that internally mind says, no, this is not good enough. It has happened to everyone, and it is going to happen in the future also, unless we are aware. Don't create any kind of a delusion from your side. If others have it, let them have it. No worries. Don't worry about it. You cannot change them. I already told you last time, 50 years backward. If you are not 50 years, then whatever is your age, backward. That is the time of your birth. Another 50 years forward. And we had millions of delusions. All our suffering, our anxiety, our duality, our conflict, reactions, they all belong to the delusion. Just retrieve the information how many times we were deluded in our life. How many times? It may be abusing, it may be loving so-called attachment. One time we loved our mother so much, on the other time we hated. All the delusions. This metaphor, no one will be there on this earth. Lotus leaves in the water on them are inherently impermanent and constantly changing. Failing to see this temporariness or impermanence is a delusion. I don't see that. Why I don't see this? Because I am attached. Maybe attached to the son or a daughter. It causes the instability and unsteadiness in the mind. That is why the water on the lotus leaf is said by the master, it is unsteady. The water on a lotus leaf easily rolls off and lacks independent existence. Similarly, the things we crave and cling, it lacks intrinsic stability or permanence. We believe it will provide me the lasting happiness is delusion. Happiness is inside. Think. So the master is pointing out where is the cause of the suffering, where is the cause of, because of the delusion. So we have a false perception in delusion. You see the other side of this metaphor. Lotus leaves naturally repel water. Clinging leads to frustration. It's a natural tendency. Craving unstable things leads to clinging and suffering. Thinking they will satisfy us if possessed is delusive. Why we are learning this, why we have to follow this thought pattern to get rid of the delusion first. To recognize and realize our highest consciousness, our real nature. And once you recognize the real nature, just live into the same world. Master is not saying that you have to leave everything. We have not to leave everything, we have to leave the very delusion created by the mind in a situation, in a people, in a relationship. We have to leave nothing. We have not to leave the wealth, we have not to leave the relationship, we have not to leave anything that you like or dislike. Internally, that delusion must go. So now compare this again. Lotus leaves, water is unstable. How unstable is our relationship because of the delusion? Now compare it. How unstable it is. We try to rationalize it. How the money is unstable, the wealth is unstable. That is the message in this verse. The lotus leaf parallels how our conditioned world is marked by the delusive perception. We try to possess, we try to get obsessed. We have a sense of insecurity, so we want that sense of security by the delusion. We have to see it clearly. When you see this clearly, helps and clinging in cycle of dissatisfaction. Cycle of dissatisfaction. Oh, you did this. No, I was unhappy, Okay, so the guy did this, and again you are unhappy. You become unhappy, you become unhappy. The cycle of happiness and unhappiness, likes and dislikes, continues in your life. The delusion part. So I have I have to explore the wrong capacity to derive false pleasure, pain from a situation, from a people, from a relationship. Every moment. I have to just, I have to start thinking inside. I have to start thinking. And that is why I've been explaining Bhaj Govind. Bhaj basically, normally Bhaj literally means, it is a literally common meaning. I won't say literal, but common meaning is devotion. But the real meaning is perception. The perception minus delusion. Perception minus delusion is I am. Perception plus delusion, anxiety, duality, conflict, wrong notions. And that is why you say, recall, remember, repeat, I am the real self. And from there you start the journey. Bhaj also means the love for the existence. Love for the existence. So when I am deluded, I am fool. A foolish person lacks a good sense, acts unwisely, without thinking through decisions. And that is where our delusion comes. So what happens when you are hammering the delusion? You are first recognizing, and it's a cognitive ability. I recognize that I am attached to it. Let me drop the attachment. It takes for a fraction of a second inside your head. Fraction of a millisecond. You just become aware. Oh, done. That is what the Bhaj Govindam is. Then first time we understand what is this non-attachment. On one hand, on the other side we understand what is contentment. Outward beauty, outward possession, Master says, is superficial and temporary. It cannot bring deep and lasting fulfillment. So what causes the superficial and temporary? It is happening in the mind. It is because of the delusion. We have to leave that delusion. It does not mean that we should stop earning. We should stop having a relationship. No. Mindset. That changes. And it can only happen by repeated contemplation and reflection, which is what is hammer the delusion. Let us close your eyes, and eyes are closed, being comfortable. Now check that, how fast, I should not use the word fast, how easily you become comfortable and carefree. means what? It will simply mean how far and fast you have progressed into hammering the delusion. The body is stable, steady, comfortable. Yes, it is comfortable. It is carefree. You are clear. Yes, it is carefree. So I'm not going deeper into what is being comfortable and carefree. Once in a while I'll go with it. So comfortable means a physical at ease at the physical level. The mind is not causing any discomfort in the body. Mind is withdrawn inside, and so is the carefree. Carefree at the emotional and mental level, at the thought level. So we go directly to Som Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. You know the meaning? Yes, may there be happiness for all. Allow the mind to move deeper inside, outside, with everyone. Happiness is our essential nature. So, what it means? It simply means that is what I am. And from there, let me perceive the world outside. But if I am not able to perceive the world the way I am, means I am happiness. Why? You know it. Differences, likes and dislikes, craving, possession, delusion, long list. So the Master is not saying that you are blessing everyone to be happy, but you are discovering that happiness in you, bypassing the delusion. Sarvesham, Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. 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 May there be peace for all. Peace. Peace. Peace, consciousness. Another way to contemplate and reflect. Peace, consciousness. I am consciousness. So whether you say peace consciousness or happy consciousness does not make a difference. So I approach the world with that peace consciousness, not with the deluded consciousness. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. You can also say inside, Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. May there be completeness in me. Now you are complete in itself. Will you run after the money? Attachment, likes and dislikes? That is the message. So what makes me realize I am complete, what makes me become complete is a wrong statement. We are already complete in ourselves. Why? Because I am consciousness. Oh. Then but why I have a craving, desire, possession? Because of the mind. Mind lives in ignorance. That causes the delusion. Sarvesham, Sarvesham, Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham, Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham, Mangalam Bhavatu. Mangalam Bhavatu. May there be an auspiciousness for all. Auspiciousness for all. And we have already done it. Can you recall and remember anything pertaining to auspiciousness? And now, as we have been doing with the breathing, look deep inside the forehead in the space and start breathing from the chest through the nostrils, keeping your focus inside the forehead and dropping Om Shanti there. So your mind perfectly harmonizes, harmony of dropping the Om Shanti deep inside the forehead, doing the chest breathing, and keeping the body steady. That would go a long way. So you are helping the mind indirectly to not to invite any thought of the delusion. That is the way to purify the mind. So continue doing it. Also discover if there is any resistance in doing the breathing. On a given day there may be a resistance, so endure it and continue doing it. It is easy, it is natural. When you do not find any resistance due to the breathing, mind is withdrawn inside. Enjoy the changes in experiences. If there is any resistance, endure it and continue doing it. Now we all are seekers. We know what it means by endurance. So this is the way of the willpower. We use the willpower to take over the mind. And because we have been doing the breathing for so long, so it's not a big deal for us. Continue breathing. Om Shanti continues. Steadiness in the body continues. Continue breathing through both the nostrils into the rib cage in the state of steadiness in the body. Om Shanti continues to drop inside the forehead. So you are expanding the mind, your level of awareness goes up, and that is what we need. And stop this, do nothing. You register the resistance into your memory the next time you do it, so you know how to get out of it. Pay attention on the flow of the breath that we have been doing it. Check which flow is less, pay attention there, and that gives you enough time to your mind to recognize, to live into that higher awareness. At present, you are doing nothing. You are just aware of the flow of the breath. That is your awareness. Now looking inside the forehead again, Om Shanti continues, and start breathing from the belly only. Longer breath. And body steady. Om Shanti continues, and it's a little longer breath. So metaphorically, I'm using the belly. The lower lobes of the lungs are bigger than the upper lobes of the lungs. And so we can inhale deeper. Longer the breath, better it is. You may have a hissing sound also, that too is good. But you also find a new level of experiences. That too you need to accept it. Continue to accept those changes and continue with the reading. One day it is possible, other day you find some difficulty. It means it is because of the state of the mind. How much delusion is present, the difficulty you will face. And that is why we say we have to do the consistently regular practice to reach to a state when every time we do it, we have that level of awareness. And that is how we can get rid of the delusion in the long run. Mind plays the trick with us and it begins changing the rate and the rhythm of the breath. There you have to endure it. You return to the same. Couple of times mind may be changing it. But once we are aware and attentive, it is possible. And now leave it. Just leave it. Do nothing. Pay attention to the breath. Pay attention to the flow of the breath. And if the flow of both the nostrils is equal, wonderful. No, I don't experience something greater. You need not to. Just remain aware of that. Sometimes the experience follows or consistent with the equal flow of the breath, and sometimes it takes time. Now looking inside the forehead and Om Shanti, start breathing both from the belly and the ribs. Long, deep in the hissing breath. Check body remains steady. Mind inside dropping Om Shanti. Long, deep in the hissing breath continues. You are aware. You inhale into the belly, then into the ribs. You exhale from the belly and the ribs. That rhythm should be maintained. Continue long, deep in the hissing breath. Now leave this. Bring your awareness on the flow of the breath. And as you are aware of the flow of the breath, start breathing deep, silent and slow. We will go to the nyas. You are breathing deep, silent and slow. As you inhale, mind should move inside the top center of head, then into the spine, reaches to the tailbone. And as you exhale, the mind moves from the tailbone into the spine, rises up and reaches to the center top of the head while singing Om Shanti. This practice also helps you to bring the flow of the breath equal. Initially we did this as a nyas. We did the nyas in the very beginning to move the mind within. But now we are doing it to check if the flow of the breath is equal with Om Shanti. Now we have become a higher seeker. You feel that you are breathing very dead, slow, deep, silent, and the mind is moving along the center, top center of the head, inside the head, then reaches to the collarbone, the spine reaches to the tailbone. Mind is saying Om Shanti. You discover the breath is dead slow. With that, the flow is equal. Om Shanti continues. It's a wonderful state. And now leave the deep silent slow breath. Go to the triangle deep inside the cave of your heart. Om Shanti, moving the mind on each side of a triangle. Check. Anti-clockwise and clockwise movement. When you find that clockwise, anti-clockwise movement, they are syncing, then move the mind inside with Om. Mind seemingly stops moving deeper inside. Shanti. And live into that state of self-absorption to allow the revelation to take place. That is your understanding. That is also your perception. But if you find the mind returns to a thought, better take it to the triangle again, moving the mind and In that state, almost you are doing nothing. When the mind goes deeper within and there is a self absorption, even not the mantra, as if you find you have gone very deep inside yourself. We find a sense of independence as if we need not to do anything. And that is where we understand and discover the consciousness is independent. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences. Bring the hands down. We'll share our experiences. If you have any question, most welcome. So, how are you, Vaibhav?
Thank you, sir. So practice was fine. Mind was absorbed. During the daytime, like there's a certain awareness is there that whenever the mind is stuck somewhere, so I can ask myself that why I'm not able to free myself from this situation, and what is the reason I'm not able to feel free in this situation. So I start contemplating on that, and then come to like it's dropping down, and then again it's happening and it is dropping down. So that was happening in the day.
Beautiful. That's another beautiful way. That is also Bhaj Govindam. Whether you say Bhaj Govindam or not, but you're still asking the question. You are asking the question, it means you are aware, then only you are asking the question. You are aware that you have recognized the delusion. That is why you are asking the question, and the moment you are aware, you are asking the question, it will go away. Beautiful way. That's beautiful. How are you, David and Jerry?
Thank you. That was absolutely amazing practice today. The lesson was very enlightening to me. The breathing, I found myself really in control of my mind and really within myself, and therefore I was able to go very, very deep and lots of indigo color.
Yeah, yeah.
By the time I got to the heart, there was these flashing lights, and then it went indigo, and I just basically felt like I got to my true self, and I said, I'm here, I'm in control, and next thing I know, you were singing Om Shanti at the end. It was wonderful.
Beautiful. Those colors and visions obviously always indicates that we are absorbed deeper inside. But yes, let the mind say that I'm with my real self. And that also gives us the same experience as Webb was explaining. Beautiful. How are you, Jerry?
Sir, I'm good, thank you. It was like there was several levels of the mind. So the mind, there was this underlying kind of humming, like the nonsense of the mind, but it was very distant.
Yeah.
And then there was a level that was reflecting on the breath in and out of the body, around the body, the space, the infinity of the space, and then the darkness and the light. And then there was the mind that was observing all that. And then there was what was behind the mind that could observe all that. So it was really interesting.
Very interesting, yeah. Yeah. So that is how our masters also discovered that there are different layers and different states of the consciousness. But basically, these are the different states of the mind. Consciousness is only one. We have already understood the consciousness reflected into the mind, it becomes a reflected consciousness. So that reflected consciousness may reveal itself into different layers, may reveal into colors, may reveal into the visions, and that is how we experience. Beautiful, wonderful. How are you, Christina?
Thank you. So I had a sharp contrast between yesterday. I must have said Bhaja Govindam more than 500 times for something, and then today, at a certain point, you said there's nothing to do. And there was this sense I could breathe and sit all day long.
Yeah, beautiful.
Everything.
Yes, if your mind says I can breathe and sit all day long, obviously the mind has changed. Mind has changed. And that is another way. You just remind yourself, Bhaj Govindam, yes. So you move into that awareness. So if you said why 500 times, why not 5,000 times? Do it that also. That's another way to do it. That's a beautiful, wonderful. How are you, Brandy?
Good, thanks. My meditation was really absorbed, and I think I fell asleep a couple of times. I couldn't tell what was happening. If I was just really absorbed, or if I was asleep. But I'm really relaxed.
Really relaxed, now we can sleep even while sitting. But that is obviously when we go deeper into the state of relaxation. Sometime it happens, so let it happen. We should continue the journey. Beautiful. How are you, Samir?
Sir, it was very peaceful, and it was like everything was settling down
Yeah.
in my everything was means something settling down in my heart, all thoughts,
Yeah. Yeah.
all chaos, what everything settling down in my heart, and it is going inside it, and every, it was clean.
Yeah, it means the mind has no resistance. This is a great feeling that everything is settling down. Where it is settling down, it reveals our true nature. There are many practices of, there are many principles based on this statement. That's really good. So, how are you, Dennis?
Thank you. It was a very comfortable practice. Um, I noticed sleepiness during the first round of breathing, which was kind of surprising. It, uh, how could the mind want to sleep during the active step? But it was not before, not after, just during the breathing step. Then I had alternating sensations of cold and warm at the top of the head. And for the first time, I had some sensations in the spine during the breathing, even before we started to move the awareness inside the spine. I had a sensation of the breath like moving inside the spine, and deep absorption at the end.
Deep absorption and beautiful variety of experiences. Sometimes what happens, when we are breathing, it is just like euphoria or a kind of as if we are going to faint. So possibly it has less to do with the falling into sleep, but more to do with that euphoria where we feel as if we are in deep sleep. So that kind of experiences takes place because of the breathing. So that happens. Again, it is related to the past impression, so we need not to worry about it. Continue doing it. Beautiful and a wonderful way to explain it. How are you, Ashok?
Namaste, sir.
Namaste, sir.
I am good, and very meditation was very peaceful and feeling good, no problem at all.
Feeling good, very good. Yes, continue. Terry, where are you?
I am here. I had, it was a good, deep experience with a lot of awareness.
Very good.
Of the various parts of the practice. At one point, I had a very strange feeling, but I can't really put it into words. It's as if there were two of me breathing.
Yeah.
But I don't know what that was, so I don't know what to say about it.
Yes,
and
yes.
It's hard to remember.
We feel a kind of separation from the body. We are already separate. It is because of the delusion and attachment we feel we are one with the body. So that is why we feel as if we are two. Body is one layer, mind is other layer, intellect is third layer, ego is the fourth layer. That is why we have Panch Kosha. We'll talk about it. So that's really good. And every time your body has some problem, the first thing that you remember is the Bhaj Govindam, as Christina was saying, and then raise your awareness and see that you are separate from the body at that moment also. Yeah? Very good. Thank you. And we will meet again on Thursday. Thank you very much.
Om Shanti. Namaste everyone.
Om Shanti. Wonderful.